Good morning, live at 9. Thank you for joining us here on your Monday. This half hour brought to you by the Grays Harbor PUD. Grays Harbor College is doing a digital learning online model as the fall quarter gets prepared to ramp up, but that doesn't mean there's not new opportunities for students as they get ready to prepare for the fall schedule. We are joined this morning by Dr. Lucas Rucks, Dean of Workforce Education, and Ralph Hogeboom, Esports Manager at the college. Good morning to both of you.
Good morning, Kyle.
Good morning, Kyle.
Thanks for coming on. We're just getting word of these new programs and expansions at the college, and it's exciting. It's nice to see that COVID has not slowed down the advancement of local educational opportunities.
Yeah, that is exactly right. I'm in year 4 now with the college, and we've been working on this new associate degree program, getting to know the area, looking at regional data. This is one of those things I think that we're missing. There's an opportunity. We live in a beautiful area, and I think hospitality and tourism, and there's a sector there that we can do more to support our local employers and local economy.
And Dr. Rex, is this program been something that has been in the works pre all of this? Has this been a plan kind of on the wall as you get prepared for it?
Yes, definitely. Some of this is anecdotal. Why can't we also be like Astoria? How come we don't have that Cannon Beach? Can we do more with Seabrook? If you look at what's going on up in Port Angeles, there's some efforts on the peninsula. So I've been tracking those, following those, and we have at the college, we've been working on this program for over a year. And we're going to partner with Peninsula College up in Port Angeles. We're also looking at some larger tourism boards and how we can collaborate, make sure we're putting out the right skills that are helping our local employers.
And Ralph joining us, esports manager, also working as systems administrator for information technology at the college. Now, esports is not new to the college slate, but this is just an expansion of that program.
Sort of. So esports has been around since, gosh, I think the 70s when Stanford held one of their first competitions for, I think, a space game. But esports as a varsity program, as a sanctioned sport, so to speak, at the college is definitely new for this fall. We have, however, had students that have run gaming clubs for, gosh, I think the last 3 to 5 years for sure.
And just so people are aware, I mean, esports, it's something that I've been aware about for years, but it is, I mean, legitimate sport, one of the most popular sporting events really in the world. And now it's being added alongside wrestling, basketball, volleyball. I mean, it is now officially a sport at the college. Is that what this kind of new expansion is?
Yeah, I think that's probably the best way to think about it. Yeah, esports, for folks who don't know, is competitive video game playing. And I would say the last 5 to 10 years it's really exploded as people have moved away from single player games to saying, okay, I can beat the computer at its own game. Can I beat other people? And you start mixing folks worldwide against human intelligence, and that's where I think video games get really interesting, because it's that mix of strategy and certainly mechanical reflexes, but also how well do you work with other people in a team, in a cooperative environment, to achieve your objective.
Really matches along with a lot of the college programs. I mean, that networking, working together, learning new things, and advancing yourself in many ways. Now, Dr. Rux, is this something that is esports possibly? Is it going to be able to work this into the educational programs as well? I mean, as we go forward, is there going to be some sort of cross at some point?
I definitely believe so. I probably shouldn't tip too many hands, but there's other things I think that we could do as far as new programs where this type of student would fit right in. IT management, some of those kinds of things where you're comfortable at a desktop for a period of time. I think there's lots of jobs like that that are emerging. There's more jobs, I think, even in Pacific County, where people are working from home. They're gaming, they're mixing their personal life with their business life. I think there are opportunities here that college can be exploring in the next year.
And again, as the school is looking to go online, at least to start off the fall semester, I mean, how does this change both the programs? Esports, Ralph, I mean, how is this going to impact the program? Probably not as much as some of the other programs, but how does this change the dynamic of the esports program?
That's a really good question. I think it definitely has an impact. One of the things about collegiate esports that I think a lot of folks may not realize is that it's really designed around individual growth. So, obviously we want players who are really good at a given title. We want the best League of Legends players or the best Rocket League or the best Smash or Overwatch players we can get our hands on. But once they're in our program, what we're really interested in is saying, okay, in this environment, we can pair you with other people who are ready and primed for growth, connect you with resources like digital coaching, coaches from around the world who can work with you to do replay reviews and talk about taking your game to the next level. And then we can put you in a league where you have regularly scheduled games on a national stage competing for a national, award or recognition, and say, we're going to give you this kind of an environment. How far can you go? What kind of growth can you experience here? And so when we're talking about an online environment, obviously that changes things because some of those resources we can't put directly in the hands of these students. Resources like top of the line equipment. Kyle, we are building a gorgeous arena at the college that has 12 top of the line gaming machines, gaming chairs, 27-inch screens. We've got 2 dedicated Smash stations. It's a streaming station. It's going to be gorgeous. And one of the things I was looking forward to was putting students in front of our streaming broadcast console. So the ability to run the Twitch stream, multiple screen captures, cutting to casters, balancing audio levels, not too dissimilar from what you're doing right now, and letting our students get hands-on broadcast experience, designing graphics and editing the video, and I can't put them in front of that equipment right now because of COVID. But the minute that it's safe to do so, you bet we're going to connect students with those resources. Absolutely.
When we look at the esports program, what is the reach of this? How many colleges have an esports program that are going to have the opportunity to connect with the Grace Harbor program and compete against? Is this a niche program, or are there more and more colleges with these advancements?
It's definitely blowing up. Last year, of the 34 community and technical colleges in Washington State, only 2 had varsity programs. That was Peninsula and Centralia. I expect we're going to be looking at more like 5 or 10 this year. I guess the question is more about what leagues are you participating in. So typically what you're seeing today, or at least within the last 12 months, is a given college, whether that's a 2-year or a 4-year school, will have their gaming club, either a varsity, university sanctioned event or a student run club, participating in leagues that pit them against the other college students, either at 4 years or 2 years or other clubs or varsity programs. So the answer is it's kind of a mix, but we're in good company. There's a lot of folks out there that are doing this, and there's some pretty good competition, I'm not going to lie.
I don't want to stereotype too much. When you look at the college education, the college age groups that Grace Harbor College really works with, I mean, a lot of workforce training, a lot of older demographics going back to school and getting relearning. When we look at the esports program, I can only imagine there are a lot of people when we're talking Twitch and the arenas and the screens that it's probably more along that college athlete age group. Is this limited to the same kind of standards as far as sports availability? Are you getting younger players, I guess is what I'm saying, or is it a mix of age groups?
Well, I look forward to seeing who we have through the next year. We kick off in the fall, and while we certainly have signed a handful of players, we've still got open seats in 4 varsity titles and 2 JV titles. If anybody's listening and you're thinking, hey, I want in on this, League of Legends, Overwatch, Rocket League, Super Smash Brothers, those are our varsity titles. And then Fortnite and Valorant are our JV titles. And Kyle, I'm going to push back a little bit. It sounds like you're talking about age discrimination, buddy. I got to tell you, I'm 43 and I'm in the top 8% worldwide for Rocket League players. So
That's fair.
us old geezers can still do stuff.
And it is something that the timing is right for both of these expansions, I think, at the college, because this last year, I have to imagine there's more and more people that are engaging in esports, whether it be just learning of League of Legends or expanding their kind of repertoire in that and Fortnite and these other games that are very well known in a lot of arenas. But same as the hospitality and the ecotourism, I mean, more and more people are getting outdoors. And as much as they're might be staying inside playing video games, they're getting outdoors and they're learning about new things that our region has to offer as we're kind of stuck in our own bubble of staying in the county and staying close to home and really learning more about this and having students coming out of this program that could just advance that and teach people about what they've been learning and learn how to manage that in the future. I think it's a great time for both these programs.
Yeah, ecotourism, the leadership experiences, the guiding of our natural area. I do think there's some great outdoor things that are going to take off just because of the world we're living in this month, this summer. People are wanting to be active and we're learning and finding new ways. I think of things like the Cranberry Festival, where maybe it's a larger group, but there's ways to social distance and do some agro touring. Why not a kayak touring? Why not a fishing expedition? There's leadership through hiking types of activities. Our area is really primed for those kinds of things.
When we look at the ecotourism and hospitality, or hospitality and ecotourism, it's the Associate of Applied Science degree. Is that a 2-year degree?
Yes, 2-year degrees. It'll take you 6 quarters, so fall, winter, spring. Right now, we do have it completely available online. My goal would be to have options for you once we kind of return back to normal based on enrollment. But right now, everything can be online. You can jump in any quarter. And there's a whole mix of event planning, conference planning, gaming management, things like wedding planning, beverage management, and then of course the whole gamut of outdoor activity, leadership management, those kinds of things.
When we look at this degree, is this something, if somebody gets the Associate of Applied Science degree in hospitality and ecotourism, is that something that could be transferred out and expand on that? Are there other programs that deal with this, or is this kind of a niche program?
I think it's a little bit of both. I think for some, the industries that you would think of with this, the hotels and the casinos, they want this degree and they want you to get into their system and they want you to kind of work your way up through that. So entry-level management, hotel management, gaming management, dining room management. This probably is enough. There's a group of students that'll want to transfer. There's some wonderful bachelor degree programs. I'm thinking of places like UNLV where they're really geared towards the casino management. And there's bachelor's and there's management degrees in hospitality where this degree would articulate, transfer, and students would move on. I'm hoping most of these graduates in our first 2 years will stay local and help us kind of build up our tourism and event planning markets. But this is a transferable degree to some of those institutions too.
And you look at this hospitality ecotourism, and it pairs nicely, no pun intended, with some of the culinary programs that the college already has. So, I mean, really, with this, staying close to home, you could build yourself up to create your own little outdoor resort or something like that. You could do it
Sure.
all right through Grace Harbor College and the learning you can get there.
Sure. Yeah. Farm to table, some of those kinds of experiences. And I think the best way to do this is to kind of let the students and the employers dictate where we go. We do have the culinary arts program. I would love to see some spin-off certificates, whether it is gaming or hospitality or culinary arts. I'd like to see some upper division things. We have the organizational management bachelor's degree, and having those side certificates where students could add. I have the communication, I have the conflict resolution, I have some of the leadership training. I really want this niche training. A 4 or 5 class certificate, I think, is the way to go, and we'll let the employers and the students kind of dictate what's available next.
You mentioned gaming, and Ralph, one of the big things, I guess, last year, the legislature, I mean, really pushed more for online gambling and online access to some of these things, which it just shows that the state is moving more and more to realizing that online gaming, online in different capacities, is something that how big of a market that is. When we look at the esports program, what is the timing for this? Are there seasons in esports similar to the other sport, the varsity sports of the college, or is it a year-round event?
There are seasons. These are sort of dictated by the league that you're in. And we're looking to compete in multiple national leagues. So the NJCAA is the National Junior College Athletics Association Esports Division. And they do a fall and a spring league. And I am super excited about that one. Our rivals, Centralia, took home a national championship in Smash Brothers last year. I want to take it away from them this year. So that, I mean, that kind of opportunity for our students, I think, is just amazing. There's also Collegiate Star League, NACE, TESPA. There's a bunch of orgs out there that typically follow that fall and that spring format as far as seasons go. I do want to circle back. Listening to Lucas talk a little bit about hospitality and ecotourism, he kept bringing up the word leadership. And you're talking about esports events. And I just got to highlight, look, we haven't even started the fall quarter.
Mm-hmm.
One of my students, a Smash player named Bodie Nodell, he's a new incoming freshman. He is already running a tournament, a Smash tournament, August 20th. We're advertising it nationwide. We've got some ad dollars, I think probably $100 on Facebook, and this is a community tournament. You don't need to be a college player. You don't even have to be 16 or 18. We've got a young woman from the area. I think she's 12. She competes in our Smash tournaments. So anyway, Lucas was talking about leadership opportunities. When you think of video games, you don't often think about leadership opportunities. And if you're talking about kayaking or gaming, casino gaming, you're not thinking about leadership. But to me, that goes hand in hand, because here is Bodie who's saying, "Hey, can I run one of these things? I want to figure out, what does our marketing pipeline look like? What does our registration, our enrollment pipeline look like? How do we do check-ins? How do we make sure that we report scores? And then what kind of a prize do we give to the winner of our tournament?" And negotiating some of those things within a given framework, right? Like a state higher ed institution. That's like the nuts and bolts of learning. And I think you're going to see that in programs like esports. And I think you're going to see that in things like ecotourism and hospitality, where there are these opportunities for somebody to step up and say, I want to spread my wings and do something cool.
And getting into these programs, I mean, it is a varsity program. So the students that are participating, I mean, there is an opportunity for signing awards to be a part of this, that if they want to jump into it, there is multiple opportunities in learning that again, a lot of these are team-based sports. So, I mean, 3 or more, there's a leader in that group, no matter what. So there is going to be someone who's going to take that kind of lead role. And this is an opportunity for people to, like you said, kind of spread your wings in different varieties.
Absolutely.
When we're looking at the esports program, I mean, how can people learn more about this? Because this is something that's happening already as far as the esports program. The esports varsity program is going to be launching in the fall, but you've got a number of avenues that people can start researching and learning more about the esports right now.
I do, and there's two specifically that I would want to bring up. Number one, if you're listening to this and you're thinking, oh yeah, I identify with either one of those four, one or more rather, of those four varsity titles or the JV title, and I want to get involved, to participate in our collegiate league, you got to be a college student. That's the rules that the league brings. So if you want to be on Fortnite, I'm sorry, you want to be on Rocket League, League of Legends, Overwatch, or our Smash team, or on our JV teams of Valorant and Fortnite, you got to be a college student, but then we can put you in those leagues and be ready to go. Head over to ghc.edu/esports. There's a button in the middle of the screen that says join the team. Click that and fill out the recruitment form. That email comes straight to me, and then I get in touch with you and I say, okay, let's see where you're at. Maybe you've got a couple of college credits, like, what kind of programs look good? Let's get you in, get you as a student. And then I can start connecting you with those resources, with the rest of your team, with getting involved in the league play that kicks off this fall. The second route, Kyle, for getting involved with the program is way more about our community, our gaming community that we have here in the harbor. There is one. And we get together every Thursday and we do what we call Thursday night gaming, where we play a different community, all ages, totally free event on Twitch. It's streamed live. We usually go about 2 hours. We play titles like Minecraft, like Quiplash. I mean, these aren't the hardcore competitive games. We do those too. We've got Valorant and Rocket League coming up. If you're thinking that you're interested in knowing more about the gaming community and what kind of a culture and a tone that we have, or maybe just you want to meet some people to play some games, this Thursday we're doing Rocket League alternate modes. We've got a couple of casters. We've got Snowy Feather from Pennsylvania. She's going to be doing some of the play-by-play casting for this event. And then we have RJ and RJ Soros. She was most recently one of the casters for and an analyst for Oregon State University's esports program. They're going to be talking us through 2 hours of Rocket League, basically, as we pit local players and some regional players against each other, where you have a rocket-powered car and you try to get the ball in the other team's net. And it is one of the most accessible and fun esports to watch. So it's twitch.tv/GHC Esports. If folks haven't heard of Twitch, Kyle, I know you're pretty familiar with it. It is an Amazon website. It is a company that was bought by Amazon, and it is all about. It's sort of like an ESPN for video games. And not just the competitive ones too. I mean, there are tons of zombie slasher games, or like The Last of Us, Mario Kart, Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild. There's all kinds of games you can watch, live footage of people playing games, and it's just a huge website. So we're there every Thursday. This Thursday is Rocket League, 6 p.m. I hope you make it.
And we've got links at KXRO.com, or you can go to ghc.edu/esports for links to the Facebook, the Twitch, the Discord, and beyond. Dr. Rucks, I mean, how can people learn more about the e-commerce and hospitality program? Because really, students thinking right now, they could get their Associate of Applied Science in hospitality and ecotourism, and then also get into the esports program. So, I mean, it's a great day to be alive. You could do both. How can people learn more about this new program opportunity at Grace Harbor College?
Yeah. So this fall, we've got Intro to Hospitality and Sustainable Hospitality, and that'll be some of our green lodging curriculum I'm excited about. Probably the easiest way is ghc.edu, and then top right, it'll get you to our virtual assistants. There's a room, so instead of walking into campus and having that one-stop shop, it's now all done virtually, but they'll get you pointed in the right direction. That website is ghc.edu/COVID-19/VA. It's easiest just to get to ghc.edu, and they'll point you in the right direction. And then under the list of programs, there's a hospitality link too that'll go over all the curriculum and learning outcomes and some of the different types of employment that I think some of our students haven't been exposed to, but fun things to think about in our region.
And of course, ghc.edu has all access, whether it's these programs, other programs, or just kind of taking one class here and there to kind of further your leadership training, or your just betterment of yourself and educational goals. So there is numerous opportunities, and very excited to have these two coming into Grace Harbor College, and having it so close to home makes it makes it easy for everyone. So Dr. Lucas Rucks, Dean for Workforce Education, Ralph Hogeboom, Esports Manager, I do thank you both for coming along and helping bring these two to the region.
Yeah, thanks for making the time, Kyle.
Thank you so much, Kyle.
KXRO News Radio, the Harbor's choice for news, sports, and weather.